Take a nice deep breath. Yeah, right where you are. Greetings, dear, beautiful, precious spirit soul that you are. And that's really who you are. If you're a real human being, a divine being, you have compassion. You wonder, how did I ever get here? This isn't me, you know, what's going on in the world and all of this. And my topic then is how to increase your inner power and strength. How to increase your inner power and strength. In order to increase it, it means you have to have it already, you see. Because it's all eternal. It just means that when you're ready and you're willing, that means your intention is it and you choose it beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's going to manifest, you see. So when you increase your power and your strength, you increase it by using it. What you don't use atrophies. And you see, a lot of people think that wealth or prosperity, the riches of life, material riches, basically, are about you doing the person doing nothing and being waited on. I tell you, I got to that point in my life because I bought that whole thing about, you know, when I was first and into metaphysics and studying all of that. It was really great because it was also about prosperity. And what it really was for me was because I was married at the time, and I really, I had nothing of my own to do. And so, may I say? I wanted the freedom to be able to fulfill my divine destiny. I wanted the freedom to develop my talents and abilities and express and this sort of thing. And so prosperity, the idea of it was, it was that I'd be able to, what would you say? A lot of people say live their dreams. I don't do dreams because you have to be asleep to dream, and it only comes from your mind anyway. So this mind can't perceive that which is divine and spiritual. So that prosperity, then, the whole idea of it, and I was in it. It was great because it really gave me the foundation and base that I am prosperity. You are prosperity. You are the energy force. You are the energy of the divine energetic. You could call it the Shakti. So even fire is one of your elements, okay? And the body, like I have more of a Pitta body according to Ayurveda, and it's a really wonderful study of how to be healthy, really. And it's come from India, the Ayurveda. So what you don't use, you lose. And what happens is when we give our power away to everybody else, when we're waiting, okay, so what prosperity helped me learn to do is to know that the power was within me. And that, not that I am the big deal, I'm not, but that I am part of the big deal, okay, just like we all are. And we're drawing from that. That doesn't mean it's out on the outside going to come save us in a spaceship. I don't have any idea about any of that stuff. I have seen those little critters, but anyway. So, when we are letting other people's concepts and ideas about who we are control us, we lose our power. When we believe that somebody else is the source of our prosperity, we lose our power. Whenever a person goes against their inner integrity in order to get money, they lose their power, you see. And that it isn't just the love of money that is the source of evil. It is money, the creation of money itself, only because we didn't need it. Because as divine human beings, we share, we gift. We're there for to bring pleasure to others, the happiness and the love and the joy. And that we never intentionally want to do anything or try and do anything that's going to cause distress to any living entity. And yet that kind of stuff does happen on by accident or whatever, you're stepping on a bunch of ants. You don't mean to, but you're not trying to. And then basically what we try and do on the herb farm is just make it inviting for people you don't want to have be there, little critters and stuff, because they have a right to live. And see, this is the problem. When people are building power and energy for somebody else on the outside, some organization, some this, some that, some this, the person isn't building their own inner strength. Because when you do your studies every day, when you do your meditations, when you apply that then as you go out in the world and in your relationships, it's not that you have a whole bunch of knowledge. See, they say that a person who has a whole bunch of information, that's what most people, information of everything going on out there, they have all their concepts, they have all their training of what success means, what's a failure, how to be okay, how to fit in, all of these kind of things, that they're constantly judging everybody all the time because they have self-loathing. They hate themselves so much. And what that self-hatred comes from is also the self-liking or love. It's not really love. And what that self-aggrandizement is, that dopamine hit that people get in their brain every time they get a like or on their Facebook or something, which I don't do that thing. Because it's that dopamine hit, they feel good in that moment and they're looking for something to make them feel good. However, there is a thing called soma, which most people don't know about. It's your own divine pleasure. And when you are anchored in yourself, in connection with the divine, our beloved, however you want to call your source, our partner, our love, you have constant soma because you are in a state of divine pleasure. And when people don't have that, they're always seeking some approval from somebody else. Oh, they liked me. Oh, they liked me. Or they didn't like me. Like and dislike are two sides of the same coin. And the same person who liked you yesterday will dislike you today because they have to. Because they have a love-hate relationship with you. Our worldview of love creates hate. Just like people have all their peace on earth sign. Well, that creates also war. Because peace and war are two sides of the same coin. Don't play in those arenas. Because when you're in the transcendental state of the observer as the witness, anchored in the power and the divine strength that is within you, or that we are part of, not as residing small in me, I am part of, and so are you. When we call on that, we're not running around looking for dopamine hits in the brain. So that it releases people from their pain and their suffering of self-loathing and self-hatred, which is they're trying to love themselves. You can't love yourself. You are love. When you're not feeling love, you're not giving love, you're not experiencing love, you don't have it. Because what you don't use, you lose. And what happened is some of these kind of things, the drugs that people are taking in their brain, when they don't need it anymore as an antidepressant, they can't get back what they had. But you can when you start moving into the heart. And when you start activating your heart and who you are and the knowledge of your inner knowing and strength, and apply that instead of being a donkey carrying a lot of books with a lot of knowledge over time, you apply it and you get the benefits.